Looking ahead, a local breast cancer awareness event is featuring a well-known TV star, and we are talking to him live. Actor James Denton, best known for his roles on Desperate Housewives, The Good Witch, and several Hallmark movies, will be the keynote speaker at the Kettering Health Foundation's 23rd annual Ribbon of Hope luncheon coming up on Friday, October 24th. The event will support the wellness of local women, and Denton is a champion on the cause in memory of his mother. I'm joined now live by James Denton, best known for as being Mike Delfino in Desperate Housewives, but James is also a very active philanthropist. And James, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Let's start right there. Tell us about your efforts to raise awareness around breast cancer.
Well, thanks, Jack. And you're going to be there with us too, right, on the 24th?
That's correct. I'll be the MC that afternoon.
You're a philanthropist yourself. You know, it's such a common thing. It's funny, since I decided to do this for Kettering Health a couple of months ago, one of my agents here in Los Angeles, who's a man, was diagnosed with breast cancer. It's extremely rare, but it's very common, you know, and we all know somebody in our family, friends, but we've come so far since my mom was diagnosed and passed away in 2000. From breast cancer. So that's sort of our message on the 24th as far as me being the keynote speaker, because although my mom didn't survive it, so much has improved since then, and there's actually a very positive story out of hers.
Can you give us a little bit more of a sneak peek of what that keynote address will be about? Obviously, breast cancer and what you've gone through with your mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, part of it was, even 25 years ago, just the stigma, and nobody would talk about it, and how rough the treatments were, so much harsher, chemo and radiation, and we have so many treatments now. Kettering's doing amazing things. So that's one of the biggest messages. But I'll also, I won't be talking about doctor topics. I'll be talking about, Hollywood topics. So we'll have a little bit of discussion about my mom's story, and with some levity too. We kept our sense of humor, as we knew she was, only had a year or so to live. And so we did a lot of things that we always wanted to do, and had a lot of deep conversations, and found a way to, I won't say make the most of it, but find a positive story to tell later out of it. And there's some funny stories too. For example, my mom, and she would not mind me telling the story, she had to wear Depends, undergarments, just for obvious reasons, as patients sometimes do, and she was mortified. And so I was staying with her, and I went to the drugstore and bought the Depends, and thought, well, I'll see if I can lighten this up a little bit. So I came out in the living room with nothing but a pair of Depends on, women's Depends underwear. And there I was, maybe 2 months removed from People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive issue, walking around in my living room, strutting around in nothing but a pair of Depends underwear. So there are ways to make a light of it and keep your sense of humor, and we'll try to keep it. We'll certainly keep it light on Friday the 24th.
That's putting the Sexiest Man Alive to the test.
Pretty sexy, Jack.
Well, I understand you do a lot of these events. What is it that sticks with you after you've completed one of these?
It's the people always. That sounds so corny, but it really is, because people that will be there are people that care. They're willing to talk about, which is so important, to talk about the issue, because that was part of the reason my mom didn't seek treatment. She was afraid to admit she had breast cancer. This is a woman who had a master's from Vanderbilt, but she had friends go through some horrible chemo treatments. She decided, I'm not going to do anything about it if it's cancer, and then it was too late. And so just talk about it, show up to these things, do your part, donate if you can, but more than anything, just support people, and keep the conversation going, so when people do encounter it in their own lives, they're not afraid to come out and do something about it.
Well, you're certainly doing something about it, and we certainly appreciate that. Looking forward to emceeing that luncheon with you here at the end of the month, and thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely, Jack. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's James Denton.